Doctor Who Rogue, an episode that's got everything. We've got the Doctor gyrating. The Doctor acting like a complete slag.
I think you and I should go outside. Fast paper.
An acting rage never before seen by Cutie Gatwa. He's in tears again. Perhaps surprisingly, for an episode all about two men getting it on.
I can be king, and we can start wars with the French.
Based! There is no testosterone in this episode at all.
I would love to be the Doctor.
However, for all the hubbub about how this is making history of the first ever kiss of the kind, which isn't even true, but it's also not the point, I'm not sure it counts when this is the first female Doctor played by Cutie Gatwa. Although I think I've got an explanation for that. While most of the other episodes were written by Davis, this episode is co-written by first-time writers for the show, Kate Herron and Bryony Redman. And it really does seem like they've just put themselves into the role. So, at least this bit would have been true if two women were doing it. At best, this comes across as both of them making fanfic about their new besties, desperately trying to work out how a man would act, but never having met one. So instead, they just make them act as they would, you know, crying and acting like a whore. It's also funny that Herron wrote season 1 of Loki. You remember, the series that had this in it.
I wonder why there's no testosterone in the show, I don't know.
Which also had the title character mentioning that he'd just bang anything in sight. So then Davis came out and criticised that himself as a feeble gesture to represent it. It's not enough, folks. Until you've got them going at it on the floor, live on camera, broadcast to children on Disney+, then that's just not good enough for the BBC. But he later contacted Herron to apologise, and then offered her a job, who then dragged her friend in. I do like how they put writing partner in quotes. Is Herron and a writing partner? But no, despite the press making a big deal of this and being factually wrong, I'm still going to need you to strap in and strap on for this episode, because the writers sure did.
I became a total slag.
We start in 1813. You may have an idea of what 1813's England looked like. They don't. This is the BBC.
But there were black communities here, even as far back as Roman times. There was an African Roman emperor.
I knew that was coming and almost spat my drink over my monitor. The perfect delivery. They even claimed there was Roman skeletons. I mean, obviously we could find out from their skulls, or we could run them through DNA analysis. The team may explore that in the future, but we haven't now. We're just gonna say they are. This is the kind of investigative skills which led to Deadline saying that.
What does this have to do with Doctor Who?
You'll find out. This is in Bath, in England, in 1813. You know that previous episode where they were like, oh my god, they hate the Doctor? Bath, in 1813. Might have been a good place for it. Even then, it wouldn't have made sense because the world as natural as people thought it was. But it still would have been a better location. You could have relied on the ignorance of people.
You are a rake, a cad. You have dishonoured my sister.
I think you'll find she dishonoured herself, good sir, when she bought that tail.
Which dishonouring? The one in the kitchen, your study, in the stables?
And that is where we get the first twist of the episode. His sister's a horse. No, not really, but if this was written by Davis, she probably would have been. But he's like, you will marry her! And I think this entire thing is meant to be going, ho ho ho, won't they back? I'm like, based. This is the start of a good TV show, Pistols at Dawn. At least I think his sister's called Dawn.
If you wish to challenge me to a duel, then please, sir, do.
No, how about we put a sister on spinning boards and do knife throwing? Or if she's really attractive, put her in the TARDIS. Because if she's that loose, the only person she'd be safe around is Cutie Gatwa. Oh, it looks like a bacterial swamp. Alright, mate, you seem to have got a crick in your neck there. His entire demeanour changes the...
Wonderfully bad, aren't you? Are you gamble? Have a face?
Can you tell this was written by a woman yet? It could be hard to distinguish between that and Davis, but, you know, the signs are there.
Look at me, I'm so dull.
Yeah, I'm dull and boring. People keep making TikToks about me about how there's no good ones left.
I'd rather be you.
And so he grabs him, electrocutes him. And obviously, we have to see the men in tights. And I'm pretty sure they're just women's shoes. I do always find it funny when people reference this stuff and go, oh, look at him, that's proof they like me. No. Firstly, culture was different then. Secondly, the human race continued. But we see he's kind of been drained by the electricity, and his partner is now him. The interesting bit is when he does electrocute the other guy, he also somehow clones his clothes. No, they never explain how that's possible. But the only time they want to see anyone in any kind of state of undress in this show is if it's two men going at it. After you've seen this episode, this whole title sequence takes on a different spin. I'm exploring a colon. Look, it's ribbed for his pleasure. Oh, I've shrunk myself down to go inside it. And I mean, what is this spherical object he's about to travel through? Look. It's winking at him. I'm 1 minute 37 into this. We can't. Oh. This is just like that Amanda Stenberg interview.
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal.
Oh my, it has the opposite effect. Oh, you cannot be serious. Oh, I know what's coming up in the episode. I mean, he's heading straight for it and spinning as he goes. It's a good trick if you can manage it, I tell you. Not even sure how you'd do it. You'd have to set him up on like a turntable. The best use of a lazy Susan for people that don't like Susan. I probably should have left some of this for later in the episode. But then we get to see the TARDIS explode. Explode in the surge of white light. Travel past some, well, suspiciously brown rocks all over here. You need to flush, mate. But then travels into a suspiciously puckered hole in front of a full moon. They please tell me that's where he goes. He's going straight for it, folks. As Cutie Gatwa can't resist one. He sees an opportunity and... oh, straight in there. Oh, this one's ribbed as well. I suppose we didn't see it clench. I've never watched the credits before. Don't know if you can tell. There's all the name recognition the writers deserve for this one. This is the Bridgerton episode. Again. I don't know if you can tell that this was written by two lady folk.
Oh, I love Bridgerton. Bridgerton with my bestie fam.
As you can see, the 1830s Bath of England is looking a bit like Roman times, isn't it?
Even as far back as Roman times.
And also, they can dance perfectly. They know all the moves, and despite the fact they've never done this before, this is quite incredible. I will say, 1813 high society England. It's looking a lot more diverse than I expected. What was the population of everybody back then? Like 0.00000. In fact, it might have been one guy somewhere who landed on a ship. BBC, though, not very smart. Incredibly evil, but not very smart. What they lack in brain cells, they make up for in bile. Now, obviously, everyone realizes that this is stupid. How do you even know this dance? At the end of the day, you're just a cheap tart from 2024. How do you know civilized society?
Oh my, Bridgerton.
I think that's literally just a line from the writers themselves.
Oh, my Bridgerton besties. Oh, we're gonna dance. He loves a bit of dancing, he does, especially if he gets to hip thrust in somebody's face.
How do I know these moves?
Have you never asked that before? Hang on, how come I know how to do something I don't know how to do? And he's like, oh, there is a thing for that.
Psychic earrings.
Why have we suddenly got psychic earrings? Apparently, psychic earrings beam dance moves into your face, and they have another setting.
It's like instant strictly.
Ugh. What, some fat lard arse getting humiliated? Pepperidge Farms remembers. This is just a shame she didn't make her try and do the lifts. Throw her back out. They go in for one of the moves and all you hear in the background is... to get the crane into position. Sorry, back to the secondary bit of the earrings. I may get distracted in this episode. It's about survival.
Just don't set them to battle mode.
Set up and payoff. If we do it in subtle ways like that, nobody will notice, and it really works well when we go, oh, I remember he said that earlier. Now, some of you may be thinking, hang on, if he's got psychic earrings which have battle mode, why don't we wear these all the time? Companions will be safer because they'll be trained fighters, and they won't have to rely on the doctor in case he's busy doing something else important, like, I don't know, getting his end away. Now, some people may think that's unusual for the doctor to try and do. I'd say he's thousands of years old. If he acts like this all the time, I'm surprised he hasn't squirted himself inside out yet.
Marvellous.
So she just walks up to them in 1813, and there's no comments about the doctor at all in this one. I've never seen anyone like you before. Where'd you even come from? Is that your normal accent? How do you look like that? Would have been a legitimate question in 1813. She goes, I think the success of a night like this is made in the match is made. I think we can make some for you. Because you have to remember, she'll be looking at her and going, what, you're like 25? How come you're not married yet? You spinster. Some people may think that's harsh, but a spinster was 23 to 26. These days, if you called any young woman, not just aged 23 to 26, a spinster, she'd likely give you a slap. That's because they lack any form of decorum. Probably why they're a spinster. My favourite one is actually Thornback, which is just post 26. We're getting there, Ruby. I'd take her up on her offer. You can't be that picky anymore.
Lady Ruby Sunday.
Nobody believes you're a lady. This is England. We know by your accent.
The Notting Hill estate.
Nobody believes you're from Notting Hill. Even the doctor laughed at it. Okay, I like that bit. Mainly because the doctor's laughing at the commoner. He's like, hey, you peasant. I am the Time Lord Victorious.
No, he's just a friend.
Can you imagine? 1813 England and those two are getting together. They'd unleash the hounds. What's his expression for? It's like he's looked into the time vortex all over again and it's gazed back at him. He is imagining true hell. Wait, you think that I would get with that? The bacterial swamp? Are you insane? That is the face of horror and pure disgust. Oh, no, not with that. No, it looks like a plate of turkey that's gone off.
Well, a young lady needs suitors, not friends.
She doesn't mean so you can bang them all, though, love.
She's so posh, I love her.
Yeah, and you're not. You're so common. You don't belong there. You shouldn't want us there, and we shouldn't want to be there. Treat the new money with the disdain it deserves. But she's like, oh, I've got feedback on my earring. So we listen to it, goes, oh, there must be something in the room interfering with it. I'll track it down, you go off and, you know, try and get your end away with someone fancy. It'd be a nice change from all those criminals you've been getting with earlier.
Try not get engaged or accidentally invent tarmac.
That's a very Doctor line. That's a line that's been muttered by multiple Doctors over multiple series. It's just when he says it, it doesn't come across as the Doctor. I don't think I can take him seriously in this role. But he discreetly scans with his sonic screwdriver. And no one in the room goes, hang on, what's that in your hand emitting light? That's not a lantern. 1813, not renowned for its LED lights. That would be the equivalent of magic to them, but nobody notices because these are 2024 people cosplaying and no one's thought about it. You do realize just because you're holding something at arm's length doesn't make it less discreet in an entire room full of people when it's actually glowing. But he detects where the interference is coming from. A guy on a balcony staring at him longingly. Or at least that's what you want you to think anyway. He's like, whoa, man from the future, looking like that. Wonder if he's got a squeaky bike, because luckily for him, I brought with me a massive supply of loot. I don't know if it'd be weird to say Merry Christmas, but he's definitely about to get snowmaned. Meanwhile, the lady has looked at Ruby and gone, you definitely need some help with your... Look, we saw what happened when you had your own time with it. You got to about 40, alone, single, and just had a parade of men. Quite frankly, we're too good for you. So we're gonna need to get some matchmaking done, and there's a nice slab of beef coming at you right now.
Oh, that's a tall glass of heartbreak.
You can tell her history. Oh, he's gonna break my heart. I know he's too good for me. I found my level once and it was somewhere in the region of Mr. Blobby.
Gosh, was that...
Of course, this is the alien from the start. As such, he's not the Casanova that the original one was. He's just role-playing it. The strange thing is, I kind of think this would work if you look like him.
With hair like golden strands spun in the rays of the evening sun.
Now, as you could tell from her face, she doesn't like that compliment. I'm not even sure why. What did you want him to say? Oh, my dearest Ruby, are you an angel? Because it looks like you fell from heaven and landed on your face. Or is it just what a cheap tart wants in 2024? All right, love, fancy a chicken Nando's? Maybe it's just because she innately realizes it is too high class for her. She's like, no, I'm disgusted by the fact that your horse and cart isn't up on bricks. She really wants to get with somebody who's on an estate, council estate. I'm not even sure how many of these comments transfer to an international audience, but we'll see. Look, it's the Bridgerton episode. It's almost disappointing if the Americans aren't confused. At the end of the day, this is 1813. We're still rebuilding the White House. Don't worry, after this episode, you'll have bigger problems.
Oh, you're not tall glass at all. You're half a pie of shandy.
None of them goes, what's shandy? This is like if the thing you scraped off your shoe started insulting you. You're not going to take it seriously.
My dear, you should learn to be admired in silence.
Based. I'm a man out of my time. I should have been born in 1813 and then died of cholera. That's what I should have done. The only way they get away with this comment is because he's the alien. So, oh, the villain's saying something to her and so it shouldn't be taken. No, this is just because the people then were civilized.
Spoke to me and the girls like that on a Friday night and we'd rip you a new one, mate.
How? I mean, firstly, it's the gang of girls, and remember, we've already seen those. Gone away is the bluebird. Feminine high notes there. There might have to be a little bit of filtering done first, but afterwards, how? You're unironically like 1.5 foot or more shorter than him.
Rip you a new one, mate.
Can you phone me on my mobile phone? I can't hear you down there.
Now, get out of my way.
And look how he's like, oh, I don't know what to say. Tell her to get back in her box where she belongs. The Thornback.
Hey, no, Stilton.
Oh, yeah, I've called you a cheese. No, that's actually the joke.
It's a very difficult cheese.
I mean, if we want to play that game, you could have just called her a Bakewell. It's a cheap tart. That doesn't work. You called her a cheap tart earlier in the episode. I know. Remember, I know what's coming up. This is setup and payoff. That's not good setup and payoff. Neither's the show, all right? They have low standards. I can as well. Oh, just snapped my neck really quickly. Must be an alien. But then, as she walks off, she sees a painting on a wall. That looks remarkably like Susan Twist. Always a twist. There's always a twist. Strange, isn't she? She's following me all through history on different planets.
Her eyes still follow me about the room. Constant judgment.
But you are in England, and that is the basis of civilization.
You were rather splendid. Is it always like that in the north?
Oh.
What, rough and uncouth? Well, yes, actually, yes. To be honest, that's the best thing about it. But not if you were a lady.
Fellas like that, a tenner penny.
What, rich, successful, good looking? If the tenner penny, how are you still single? What? We saw your entire life. You couldn't nail one down to save it. Literally. But he's moved on and...
She's bookish and vapid, I fear, but good teeth.
That should have been a hint that she's an alien then. This is England. It is weird that these two are talking and arguing. Just remember them for later. And then realise that it actually doesn't make any sense. But she falls out with him, wrenching her arm away and storms off. And of course, having been brought up with no manners, she does the only thing that she knows how to do. I'm gonna follow them and spy on them. Oh, drama! I love this is like Facebook, it is. Yeah, I get to see it all play out. Did you know she's removed him as a friend? And of course, you had to grab the booze on the way there. I remember the ladette culture which the 1990s media created. A young woman who drinks a lot of alcohol, uses rude language, and behaves in a noisy way. I think it's a great description of Ruby. There they were, the scum. A late 1990s, early 2000s phenomenon. An era where women ruled supreme. A boisterous, bolshy, boozy free-for-all where you could get away with saying or doing pretty much anything. We'd already destroyed everything that mattered in the universe, and the ladette was a product of increasing equality. This resulted in being mouthy, up for a laugh, took their clothes off, and could outdo any male companion in the drinking stakes. Coined in 1994, blamed for the rising level of basically everything awful. It's just Rube, it is! And I'd assume the writer's self-insert, or at the very least, fantasy. This is how I'd be if I travelled back to 1813. Now, as Ruby has gone off on her own, chasing an alien who could be dangerous, the Doctor, well, he's got other things on his mind. A big, throbbing...
Brooding. Good luck.
Honestly, good sir, I only walk around the front of you to see what I'd be working with in the future.
To practice in the mirror.
Do you? Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, the music in the background is very 1813.
Yeah? Like this, really? Really like.
Throughout this entire scene, classical riff on Billie Eilish's Bad Guy in 1813. And because it's recognizable, it actually draws you out of the scene to the point where I couldn't even concentrate on what they were saying. When something is so out of place, it makes the entire thing inauthentic. And even if this was a good episode, it would pull you out and ruin the episode for you. But he says, you're very funny, peculiar. You're standing here keeping an eye on the exits. You can observe everybody.
And go and pursue your facile pleasures and leave me alone.
Oh, pursue your facile pleasures, arse. I can understand why Russell T Davies decided to choose this as a medium. So easy to please, isn't it? No one can think about whether it's got good characters or a plot. They can't analyze what they're watching. No one has enough blood for both ends of their body. Engage one, don't need to engage the other.
Hey, rude.
Well, it is what you deserve.
Does not a lord have a name?
Rogue.
Obviously, he's amused by his name. When you find out why it's called that, you can understand why. But then we get the strangest part of the conversation.
I think you and I should go outside.
Did you mean that to be as charged as it came across?
Fast mover.
Seems so. Not that it's going to stop him.
Okay.
It's like, whoa, what has it been? 60 seconds? No, seriously, what has it been? The Doctor is willing to go out back and bang someone in under a minute.
I didn't become a little bit of a slag, I became a total slag.
Really giving positive role models and a great impression of the community. We're not playing into any stereotypes here, are we? We're outside now, and she's just randomly attacking her for no reason. I don't even know why she just randomly walked out and insulted them. It was weird, random, and uncalled for. Only done so that you think less of her, because she did help Ruby in the last scene, so now if they're going to do this to her, they have to make you dislike her, so they just threw something in together. It's incredibly bad writing. It's so you don't feel bad when this happens, when she meets her. It's like, why is my housekeeper outside? Made a mistake being staff, having to do all of this work. It's not fun. It's about decorum. It will look better on me. You're calling me disgusting in that dress? It'll look better on me. Then converts into a... basically just wants to have a go at the party. Understandable. Meanwhile, Blondie is spying on people. Very discreetly. No one's gonna see you through their love if they look over. I honestly don't know why you set it up this way and then thought she was hiding. This still doesn't make sense to me. She's like, oh my god, you need to marry me. The way you made me neigh when we're in the stables, I'll never forget it.
I think about you my every waking hour and I hate myself for it.
Oh well. At least you're pretending to have a bit of class and not like he could just win you over with a single word. Oh no, that happens in the scene, doesn't it?
And what would you have me do?
Her, by the sounds of it, mate. Keep up. He's like, I could never marry you. My aunt would never approve of the matter. Peasant. He didn't say peasant, but he should have done. We need to bring back the word.
I would be destitute.
So you'd have me to love.
Yeah, but what's the upside? There's a reason why you used to give people a dowry. A net drain on his life. He needed something to make up for it.
I will not marry you.
Based. He said, oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm surprised she didn't start microwaving popcorn. Oh, but there's no microwaves in 1819. Do you honestly think this show can remember what year it is 10 minutes in? Promise you they can't.
Then go. You stole my heart, now leave me my reputation.
What have you ever considered? I've got dangly bits. You think I'm joking? That's basically what he says.
And yet, you tempt me still.
She's like, you disgust me, get out of the room. And he's like, well, we could bang. That is literally it. And she's like, ooh. That's all it took. Get out of this room, you disgust me. Well, have you considered dangly bits? Couldn't resist. Like electromagnetism. Is the water you're drinking blue or something? Somehow manages to knock books off a bookshelf. I don't even know how she did it. Do you know how heavy those bookcases would be? But they hear her just walked out in the open and he leaves embarrassed. And he's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be here. This is embarrassing to my reputation. As well as damaging her reputation. No, her words.
Are you okay?
I'm ruined.
Yeah, that happened in the stables, love. We already knew that bit. It's like a couple cut alone is a scandal. If he refuses to marry her, a lady will no longer be allowed in polite society.
Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
See what I mean about fanfic? It's just the writers going,
I wish I was in Bridgerton. It's the only show I watch.
period drama. CD Projekt Red knows a lot about that, having to give all of their staff a week off every month. As they're going outside, though, Doctor doing his best chat-up lines. Oh, I love the stars. I love all of their names. Do you know their names? Do you know what one of their names is?
Ripe with constellations.
Yeah, ripe.
The bear.
You. Then you. You did too. Spur.
Thank you.
Spur.
The bear. The ram.
Oh, I don't know what you're getting at there. Are we going outside to look at the ram? Are we? Oh, look, a snowman. Oh, well, I can't see one. Well, you're about to. It's fan fiction. It's dirty fan fiction. But the guy's just like, do you never shut up? What do I have to do to you to get some peace and quiet around here?
You're tall, handsome, you're arrogant.
Okay, yeah, but where's your companion right now, actually? You've brought your companion on a journey where you know everywhere you land is dangerous. Where is she? She could be dying right now and you're too busy getting your end away to notice. Nobody thinks this is a problem in any way. Still a doctor, is it? Yeah, I don't care about the companion. She can piss off and die. Doctor's assistant down here's got to get his qualifications.
You look great in that jacket.
Cutie Gatwa, everybody, playing the marvellous role of Cutie Gatwa.
So there's one thing I have to ask.
Do you even bat on this side of the fence? I never actually asked. I just assumed and then started acting incredibly aggressively towards you. But he finds a shoe. By the way, this shoe that he finds is the same shoes as the guys were wearing at the start. So I think it was right when I said they're definitely women's shoes. But then he finds the shape-shifted person. And this guy doesn't seem bothered at all, does he?
This is no way to die.
As opposed to what? Bringing a guy into the TARDIS and squirting yourself inside out? I mean, what are the other options here? But Doctor Light, you knew. You weren't even shocked at all. That's because all of this is obvious. She's died in a way that's far beyond the technology of planet Earth. That means there could only be one person responsible.
Ruthless, contemptible. You.
Wait, what?
Oh, we both think each other did it.
And now in this situation, you would expect the Doctor to get the upper hand.
No, you. Excuse me.
Instead, the Doctor, well, he's preoccupied, isn't he? Not really thinking straight, is he? So he loses the fight to the fancy man he was trying to take to the stables and gets captured. Meanwhile, Ruby is talking to the person desperately trying to assure her that it's okay to be a whore.
Honestly, my mate Beck should tie him to a lamppost in his pants.
How? Or is that the rough one? Probably she hasn't run out of lampposts in the United Kingdom by now.
He must find a good match, and I have no dowry to speak of.
That's right. Exactly. What are you even bringing to this? You're basically just asking for his family name to disappear up its own black hole. Where's the upside?
Sounds like he's choosing his cushy lifestyle over love.
Well, duh. She's choosing him for his cushy lifestyle, the money and the status. And he's like, I could just replace you with anybody else in the room.
You are a rake, a cad.
She's 10 a penny. He just needs to get with one of the other 9 and keep his fortune.
But most people here would delight in the gossip, not offer me comfort.
To be fair, she is delighting in the gossip. We saw her behind the library. She's only here for the gossip. This to her is like a real-life version as The Only Way is Essex, except with even more slags.
I became a total slag.
You know what my mum says, if it's not your life, why are you telling it?
That doesn't even make sense in the context.
She's annoyingly smart.
That line would only make sense if we hadn't met her. She lives off the state and can't even get a job. Look at my smart mum, the scrounger.
You know how I forget about a man?
Get under a new one?
I did become a little bit of a slag.
Is that where we're going?
I go dancing.
It is. Oh.
I became a total slag.
This would actually be a problem if the person you were talking to wasn't already a whore. But as the guy is walking him back to his ship, he's like, look, I know you're a shapeshifter. You're the one responsible for all this. You're the person I'm hunting.
Drop the act, Doc.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
Firstly, Doc. No thank you, sir.
You're not the Doctor, you are more like Bugs Bunny, and so I think what's up, Doc fits you perfectly.
You are a bounty hunter. That is so cool.
Please, just take me here. Don't worry, I've brought the butter. Seriously, the romance here comes across as if it was written by an inexperienced teenager, or middle-aged cat ladies with wine and SSRIs. Either way, neither of them know what romance is like.
Getting into scrapes, meeting handsome strangers.
I'm gonna vomit on my own shoes. Prepare your cringe glands, it gets worse.
I'm here for the money, nothing more.
To be fair, the Doctor would probably pay you for it. But he's like, no, I'm taking you to my ship. It's cloaked, unlike your, well, shed. Understand the disdain he's got for the Doctor's incredibly tiny little spaceship. You're making him insecure. Can you give me another couple of regeneration cycles? I've got to try and, get a better one. Back at the party now, and we're trying to work out exactly how many of these suitors we can get through in the next 60 minutes. The 2 aliens are talking and realize that they're both aliens.
Nice costume. Tight fit.
Are you calling him fat?
I should have scented you.
What are you, running to lead a major national power? Is that what he's been doing in all the videos? Trying to work out if the people are human or not? I'm just trying to spot one of my own. But she says, I have picked my outfit for the wedding. It's going to be Lady Ruby Sunday. I'd like to go out and slum it for a bit.
It just seems so
different.
Yes. It's like making a Picasso and then smearing your own excrement over it. Over in the other guy's shit now.
Place is a mess.
I mean, it looks tidy to me. Then again, maybe this is another testosterone level check. I don't know.
Rogue, honey, you need company. I live alone.
Is that why he always has a female companion around in the TARDIS? So she can do the cleaning for him? Is Cutie Gatwa secretly based? Answers on a postcard and send it to Russell T Davies because no one else cares.
But was that always the case?
I love how he insulted the cleanliness of his ship and he just immediately gets his gun back on him. It's like, I might as well fire it now. Notice how the LEDs have gone out though. Is the CGI too expensive for you, was it, for this scene? But he starts placing these things on the ground and the Doctor just lets him. Like seriously, doesn't even put up a fight. You'd expect him to at least try to resist getting arrested, you know, in the hope he'd play rough. He just drags him over and goes, you stand there, stand exactly where I want you to.
What do those things do? It's a trap.
So the Doctor didn't know what they did and just let himself be put in a trap. Definitely the Doctor and not Bugs Bunny, is it?
What's up, Doc?
Triform on.
Triform active.
Luckily, it's activated by Alexa as well. Siri, can you please send the Doctor to a different dimension for me? Thank you.
My name's Bond. Molecular Bond.
It's one of the few lines in the show I will give you credit for. It's a shame it couldn't have put in a good episode. But this thing basically sends you to a parallel dimension so you can live out your life in safety, alone. Out of this dimension, not a risk to anybody. It's like a cheap, easy, infinite prison.
Transport to where?
Incinerator.
Oh, it can also beam you into an incinerator as well. We can kind of choose the location.
It's a death sentence. You're a killer.
I'm surprised he didn't go, yeah, my fashion senses. Not the rest of me. But he's not worried. He's just like, oh, well, you know, I've got a sonic screwdriver. I can get myself out of this.
Triform off.
It's deadlocked.
What a coincidence. At least in this regard, Doctor Who does do it all the time. Anything we just need to be permanent, we just, it's deadlocked, and or make it out of wood. But he's like, my gadget can do more things than just turn it off. I don't know what that is, but you're not scaring me. The ship would have registered it as dangerous if it was. In fact, it seems to be.
Screwdriver.
Yes.
Not the most intimidating thing in the world, is it? A bit like Gatwa himself.
I've been wanting some new shelves over there.
You could always ask Gatwa to bend over and then just use his back for them. I'm sure he'd be happy to oblige.
But it does do all sorts of things.
Yeah, it turns out the all sorts of things is I've got magnified vision, which means that I can see your dice, despite the fact that they're on the table about 5 meters away from me, so I could have seen them anyway. No, this obviously means you're into Dungeons and Dragons in the future. It is laughable that the way Dungeons and Dragons is declining and killing their own brand. You think they're going to be around in the future? Okay.
Did you get your name from Dungeons and Dragons?
Roll for insight.
I don't know what kind of partnership is going on here, but I only assume it's because of what Dungeons and Dragons have been doing recently to really swerve in that, well, no, it's that direction. Running as fast as they can over there to get rid of all their audience. Adding them into Doctor Who, which is also doing that, is a bit like you spray on my back, I'll spray on yours situation. And it goes, oh, by the way, it says that this ship is wired for sound. Yes. Yeah, we're going there. Because he keeps activating sound and the other guy turns it off.
No, this is a surprise.
Oh, you found my secret song that I really liked, this one. And for some reason, despite the fact I come from the future, I'm playing old music. I've got to do pelvic thrusts to show that I'm into it. Luckily, that guy saves us from the hell, temporarily. We're going to keep doing this for a long time. And it gets worse. I mean, they did choose the song that only has one word as a lyric. It kind of fits Doctor Who because I feel like they put as much time into the lyrics of that song as they did this episode's script. Yeah, I can't turn it off anymore despite the fact I'm spamming it. No, put it away. Nobody wants to see that. This is Cutie Gatwa as Cutie Gatwa, the first female Doctor. Congratulations, I'm gonna act like a slag. He actually has to unplug the stereo physically from the wall to stop him doing it. Because no one's interested in seeing you gyrating. Even him. Not that it stopped him.
I'm just standing still, baby.
Yeah, so we get what I think is meant to be flirting. I don't know, because this is basically like two women doing it, and it's not really my area of expertise. The only real surprise is this wasn't done in the back of a U-Haul.
Give me that device.
I'm assuming it's because we don't have U-Haul in England. They had to come up with some other kind of rubby form of transport. I'm sorry for whatever I just put you through. Eventually, he gives up his sonic screwdriver like a spoiled brat. And then we go back to seriously. It's like, by the way, you do realize I'm about to send you into a fire. Maybe stop trying to wiggle whatever you're working with, eh? So because this just proves that I'm not a shapeshifter, pulling out his sonic paper.
It says you're hot.
Because it would be awful if this script had anything more than 2 dimensions.
Total slag.
We really need to start testing the testosterone levels of any writers who make entertainment. If it's not above a certain level, no.
Is it you're hot or
no,
I'm hot?
it is.
Does anybody care is my my question.
It suits you, Fluster. It's a good look. You
What happens if we both step into the trap and press the button? Is that an option? Incinerate the entire episode so it no longer exists? I'd be up for it, much like they would. But he's like, I've got to do paperwork after all, so I'm going to scan you. It proves it. You're a shapeshifter. Bye, we're going to incinerate you. But as he's about to get incinerated, the Doctor comes up with a plan. So he gets his sonic paper and nails the button required, and to be honest, it seems like throwing is the only thing he doesn't do like a girl. Unless he was trying to hit the guy in the face, in which case, yeah, that would make more sense. So then he scans the Doctor again, and we get a procession of previous Doctors. Strangely, only the more modern ones. By that I mean, not the thousands which have existed since the beginning of time. You know, all the ones that were murdered by that one that wanted to steal regeneration off them. They didn't exist. This, for some reason, like, stops him. I don't really know why, because, yeah, you're a shapeshifter. You've had previous faces. That's what I'd expect. Instead, he's like, I'm not a Cholter. Look at all the Doctors that I've had in all the history. And they all look really weird, so you can barely tell who they are. That doesn't look like Jodie Whittaker at all. Although, if you were in a situation and you saw Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, you might just want to incinerate him so she doesn't come back. We need to make sure we never relive those years ever again. Much like Cuties. I honestly have what? I don't know who that is. Now, admittedly, the older Doctor's not my strong point, but I can't remember seeing him. Got the War Doctor in there. See, I know the modern ones way better than the older ones. Even Matt Smith doesn't look like Matt Smith. I don't know what they've done. It's like they've aged them all up. Is this after all their bi-generations? They've aged them up deliberately because they might be later in time? I don't know. I'm not sure they know, to be honest. We got the one who definitely hasn't been a Doctor. Was never explained how. Or is that the only one that came from previously? Oh, she was the first one. We can't make our own things. We have to steal them off other people.
Don't let me go, bounty hunter.
I'm not going to let you go, but I may play noughts and crosses on your face. And so just seeing a load of blokes circle around his face, I think that's probably overwhelmed him. He was like, whew, having a look at your history, mate. Would. I don't know why else he'd save him. Because it's just like, oh, can you turn into them all now? Because if you can, whew, that'll be one hell of a night. You think this spaceship looks dirty now? Whew, we'll leave this thing looking like a plasterer's radio.
Wow.
Oh, his lips do move. As well as the other end of him. Meanwhile, the two ladies of ill repute are wandering the halls. Neither of them are strangers to being down a dark alley.
You can do whatever you like without Lord Barton.
I don't think there's a better description of this kind of relationship. Of I've destroyed myself, now I desperately need to drag you down to my level to make myself feel better.
I'll marry someone lesser and smaller.
Even she's like, don't you mean rich and handsome? Oh no, sorry. You blew that, didn't you? Literally. Yeah, he was better than you, so now you want to, what, someone you can control and walk over?
There may not be love, but perhaps a kindly smile at dinner.
What? No, if you want to lower your standards you could get with someone you actually liked. You mean someone rich and wealthy where there may not be love, but there would be a smile at dinner.
And then a shared grave. Aww.
None of what she said just makes sense unless she's aiming above her station rather than below it. Like if she lowered her standards, she'd have the pick of millions of people. Can we stop getting cat ladies to write scripts that don't live in reality? Like seriously.
You mean till death?
Well, as opposed to what? We saw your life in the future, Ruby. You went on to progressively harder liquors, and the only friend you had was yourself outside in the street. We know where your path ends up. Alone and miserable, which was the point of the episode. But then they find the housekeeper.
You ready for this?
It's not my first shed.
Normally we do it behind the bike one. It's always funny because I'm quite the bicycle myself, yeah. Everyone's had a ride of me. Instead, we actually get a better first impression of the TARDIS than Ruby gave. And Ruby basically walked in and went, oh, right.
Oh my god!
He's surprised. Would have been nice if we got that from Ruby, wouldn't it, really?
World of pure imagination.
He's like, I'm in. Got a bloke, showed him a Lamborghini, asked him whether he preferred salted or unsalted butter. You know, push the boat out.
Take a look. And
did you just lock him in? If you're taking a strange bloke back to your TARDIS to back, don't lock the door, because you're not escaping now. Not until I'm done with you.
to your imagination.
Comes across as incredibly creepy. I don't think this would work on anybody. This wouldn't have worked on Billie Piper. And she actually did marry a guy because he turned up outside her house after one day with a Ferrari. But he wasn't as creepy as Gatwa is, so, you know, swings and roundabouts.
I'm in love.
This really is just fan fiction. It's dirty fan fiction by two people who want to be hags. That's all it is. Please, can we be besties? I want my besties to get together so we can go out and buy handbags. Oh, it'll be gorgeous, sweetie. It's all it is.
With this machine.
I'm glad you clarified that, mate. He was about to start playing Barry White over the speakers.
Dimensionally transcendental.
And so clean.
Yeah, that's because he's got Ruby with him. He puts her to work scrubbing the floors. When it's Gatwa, she's not like she's much other use to him. That's the only reason he keeps her around. Get down on your knees and scrub. But at that point, the TARDIS makes a weird noise. It sounds in pain.
Indigestion.
The TARDIS gets indigestion now if somebody walks inside it who it doesn't like. But I'm sorry, but it ran to the end of the universe to escape Captain Jack. Never even made that noise when he went inside it. But now he's like, oh, you're a bounty hunter. He doesn't like bounty hunters. I do, though. The TARDIS doesn't like bounty hunters inside them, but the Doctor loves it.
The moral void, no offense.
Cutie Gatwa, master of morality now. But he's like, this has been created by the ancient world of Gallifrey? What is that? And then the Doctor replies,
I might take you one day.
I don't know why you're looking at him like that, as if that's a good thing. Gallifrey is a wasteland now. That's not a romantic here's the destruction of my people! But it looks like it's been hit by nuclear weapons. It's a wasteland. Sorry, no, I got the places wrong. This is Portland. No one can tell the difference between that and Gallifrey anymore. But he uses the TARDIS to reprogram the portal away from the incinerator so that the turtle can be punished a different way.
Whatever the Chulda has done, I can't let you kill it.
Why? I mean, they're going around doing that to other people. That would be justice. Instead, the Doctor's got something different planned.
Barren dimension, no one to hurt, no way back.
Oh, right, so solitary confinement then. And you think that's better, do you? Something literally banned by international law because we know that people are social creatures and that's actually a horrific way to treat people. There's a reason why when the Doctor did it to aliens, it was treated as the worst thing possible. Why? He ran away from them. They thought he was running because he was scared of them. It's like, no, I'm running away from you to protect you from me. Because if I meet you, I'm the Doctor, and I'm trying to prevent you from the anger of a Time Lord. So he did things like time lock them and put them in a sun, which is what he's doing, but he's treating it as a moral good. Whereas before, the Doctor knew it was something bad, but something he was willing to do, so he was trying to protect them from it. But he starts analysing him. Who did you lose?
How do you know that? Because I know.
Oh, well, that explains everything. We don't need any more explanation. Thank you, Doctor. So he gives something which is solely designed to set up the ending. Oh, I travelled with someone, and then at the end of the day, I lost them. It was horrific. And so they bond over their mutual loss like two women. Oh, we're both in our emotions. We're so damaged, aren't we? If only we got together, we could be damaged together. Like, there is nothing masculine about this story at all. Nor does anyone act like a man. But it's like, you could travel with me. Well, on me. I'd take you with me. I'd show you the stars, and the only thing you have to do with me is act like a sword sheath. All my other companions I vetted for their personality traits and the way they act through the world. I make sure they're good people, but you, I just like the look of you.
Let's argue across the stars.
Dude, it's been minutes. Everything that's happened in this show would have taken about 5 minutes. And it's like, I love you forever. This is amazing. Let's go across the world. It's ridiculous. Can we please have the people in TV shows acting like people? Get some writers that have experienced something other than their own SSRIs. Oh, we're gonna get together in the TARDIS. This might actually be the first time we work out what TARDIS stands for. We get a moment between the two of them, which is really sort of a Twitch streamer, oh, camera's been on the whole time kind of moment. Oh, we're all so disappointed as an audience.
The trap is ready.
Baiting. You better do it later, otherwise you'll get angry letters off 2 people on Reddit.
Now let's get back to this party before anyone else dies!
Yes! Do you notice he said that off screen? Presumably because they didn't record him saying that at any point and thought while they were editing it, hang on, the Doctor knows people are dying in the other room and he's too busy getting his end away. Maybe the Doctor should care about somebody else apart from the junior Doctor. This is a guy who's thousands of years old. You would have thought by now he would have got a little bit bored of just random friction on parts of his body. Maybe there's something a bit higher that he'd aspire to by now, or at least would be able to control basic impulses after thousands of years and realize, actually, no, I mean, it's not that important. I can put that off while people are dying 100 meters away. Luckily, he gets back to the party and Ruby is still alive because he wouldn't have known. We get a very quick introduction between the 4 of them because we've spent so much time waffling on about unimportant things that the characterization and the plot kind of just have to be rushed.
There's a dead body upstairs. It's been drained. Someone or something has killed it.
Yeah, that's what you're getting. I'm being serious. That's how they did it.
Outer space bounty hunter, nice lady.
Emily.
That's all you need, folks. 2024 script writing by 2 absolute
Emily, 1813, the Duchess, a shape-shifting shoulder.
Okay, we've done the plot now. Now can I get back to banging my best friend? That'd be the best thing, please. But Ruby's like, hang on, why would they even do this? Why do they keep going around killing? I don't know, maybe they enjoy it. They're aliens, they're people. There's a lot of evil things in the world. Some of them just like killing people, all right? But instead, no, there's a secret, hidden cause behind all of this. It's like, hang on, this is Bridgerton. You like it. It's like a TV show for you, isn't it? This is entertaining. I know.
The emotion, oh man, it's cosplay.
I think the worst thing about the show is despite the fact that they don't spend much time on the plot, the plot is still the worst thing about it. Yeah, they waste a load of time on periphery stuff that is entirely irrelevant to anyone. Wasn't built like shelves around their house for their cat to jump on. But the plot is just awfully done itself. It's like the Chulda come and they try and outfits for fun. They like taking on their roles and playing them. That's why I'm going to call it cosplay. That's why we mentioned D&D before, so that you could actually understand. Because you're thick, you see. We had to give you all of these hints previously.
Wait, so you mean it's literally dressing up and playing at Bridgerton?
Yes, it's basically what the writers are doing. This isn't about the audience, this is about the creators. And so he's like, what do cosplayers like?
An outrage and plot twists.
Yeah, because you know what the biggest plot twist would be whenever you see Cutie Gatwa? Be if he was straight. No, obviously, it's just Cutie Gatwa doing exactly what you'd expect of him. Oh, the twist! There's always a twist. So he says, you know what the biggest twist for me would be? If I was gay. Nobody knows why. Instead, he's going off, this is what 1813 would be. They wouldn't like this. I don't know, they've already accepted you for no reason whatsoever. It's not as if we're being accurate to 1830s England, is it?
I don't see how us dancing will create a scene.
Probably wouldn't care at all in your fantasies.
You should have researched this era a little more.
So should you. In fact, I don't know how you could research this era. You wouldn't be in it.
We are scandalous.
But that's because they would never have seen someone like you before. They would have been around English people. People didn't really travel a lot in 1813. I don't know if that's a surprise to you or not, but they didn't have planes. And so instead, in 1813 England, where we have mixed couples, at least I think that's a woman, standing next to more mixed couples, there's probably more people who aren't English in this scene than there were in 1813 England. That's how wild this is. And so they start dancing together. And don't worry, I'm gonna save everybody from this because I skipped it when I was watching as well. I don't know how none of them are seeing that as scandalous, but two blokes doing it, oh, that's weird. If anything, it would be the other way round. Basic history, folks. These are aliens from another planet. Why would they think it was a spectacle? Even if everyone in 1813 thought it was, why do the aliens? And so they basically dance for a long time. Even the ladies are like, oh, please, sir, can we go shopping for handbags? The fan fiction just keeps rising.
My ladies.
Oh my, oh, well, we all love it. Oh, it's amazing. I don't know why you'd care.
Shocking.
Did anybody look at Cutie Gatra the way he was walking around and go, I definitely stand a chance with him? How shocked were you, really? Scandalous. He can spin. I do think it'd be Cutie getting spun. But this goes on for basically forever. We even get different scenes of them where they cut it so that they're the only two people in the room. The lights go out and a spotlight shines on them because this is an important moment, folks. I hope your little kids are gripped to the television for this one. They're really learning now. This is the education they need. It's a shame no one taught them about history, really, isn't it? More effort went into them learning these dance moves than the script. I don't even know what this is meant to be. I don't think that's a dance move. My main surprise is that they're actually facing each other. But he's like, no, we need drama. We've already drawn attention to us, so now we need a big fight. Maybe you could pull my hair and I could slap you. Yes, cry a little bit, have an emotional outrage, and then storm out like a woman.
This is the wrong time to be strong and silent.
This is the wrong time to act like a man. I mean, he's not wrong in that regard, at least.
How dare you, my lord!
So they have an argument. How dare you? How you can't do this? And he's like, I can't believe it. You took me and didn't offer me a future. You cad. How dare you not marry me?
Or I shall turn my back on you forever.
I thought that was the plan anyway. Otherwise, that snowman might be a little bit difficult to pull off, so to speak. And so he gets down on his knees and proposes. Please, sir, can you turn around? And he gives him a ring. The doctor gets married after about 10 minutes of knowing a bloke. Seriously, we really need to start a U-Haul company in England if it works like this.
Sorry,
The fan fiction has reached new levels. What if actually he takes it seriously and he realizes, I can't do this. There's no way I can do it. Oh, I've got to leave. But is any of this Doctor Who? Seriously. And so he leaves him on his knees, which, let's face it, we're all surprised it took this long, to be honest. So he chases after him. They're amazed. We need to chase them because that drama was wonderful. We need to become them. And for some reason, they go to the window to decide to watch what's happening. And we see them all shape-changing early. And they're like, we'll lead them out. We'll trap them. But he's like, hang on. How many things can this hold? One?
There's only one shoulder, yeah?
Yeah, there's only one. Maybe three. And let's face it, even if it was just after her, you definitely need to up the weight capacity. She didn't shape change into somebody, she just ate him. Actually, now you mention it, there's quite a few people. Oh, there's a shape changing family.
Run. I'm normally the one that says that.
He says run, not cut. Also, obviously, as you may have noticed, let's hold hands and run together, because normally I just do a little quick mince. But now I'm holding hands, now we can do it properly. So we get loads of scenes of them running, holding hands. And they get intercepted by someone in, like, at his size. Absolutely no way he's going to have intercepted them. You think that can run faster than them? I know they're holding hands, which is going to slow them down, but, I mean, come on. We still have to obey the laws of physics here. You even see, as he turns around...
I found them!
Oh, quick. We've got to change hands while we're holding hands, because we can't run on our own.
I would love to be the doctor!
It is quite amazing that Cutie Gatra can still manage to mince when one of his hands is being restrained, really committing to that role. They lose him, though, so start looking in the carts. Nobody here? There's no one inside this one. I don't know what made us look specifically inside this one, because... Well, we didn't look inside any of the others, we just walked past them. We had to look inside this one, though, because we're going to say we can't find him and then find out the one they were looking inside. They were actually hiding in the roof. It was lucky they checked the right one. Shame they just didn't look up, though. So they say, when we start the wedding, everyone will panic. It'll ruin the authenticity of the evening. Yes, a lot like the BBC making a historical drama. At least they understand when they put things in there which aren't correct, people innately know it ruins the authenticity and they can't get drawn in. And yet they do it anyway, because it's more important than authenticity to them, which is why nobody watches.
Panic and scream, it'll ruin the authenticity of the evening.
Much like how you ruined Doctor Who.
Like the panic and the screaming bit.
That was one of the writers there, you can tell.
Oh, it's my fantasy to piss everybody off.
But she's like, after this, we can go to London. We can get better people, more important people. We can roleplay on an international scale.
I can be king, and we can start wars with the French.
Based! This is the kind of leader we need. Let's invite the aliens. Take over Parliament to the king and then invade the French. What better plan do you need as an Englishman?
Spanish and the Portuguese and everyone who doesn't look British.
Yes, I'm with you. It's time to relive the glory days. Rebuild the empire.
And cannons.
Gunpowder.
And plots.
Cosplay this planet to death.
Calm down, we wanted to rebuild the empire, not destroy the world. We wanted to fix it. And so he just gets his magic wand and goes, oh look, it holds more people now. We can even take that big fat one. So he says, now I've altered it though, there's too much weight. This'll only work once, we only have one try.
You've got to get it right first time.
Set up and pay off, folks, as long as we make it obvious it isn't bad script writing. Wait, no, that's not how that works, is it? So then we get something that is stupid. Remember when those people were arguing at the start in the privacy of their own room? That wouldn't really make sense if it was two aliens, would it? And yet, in this, she comes out to her, oh, I'm from the future. And she's like, oh, you're from the future? You're amazing, you're brave, you're rude, living a life of adventure from the future?
A Ruby Sunday.
Wait, hang on, you're an alien. Why were you cosplaying with another guy who's an alien, also in a different room, away from everybody? Shouldn't you be out in the party cosplaying with normal people? You could cosplay with another alien anywhere. This doesn't even make any sense, does it? Doesn't matter. This is fan fiction about our new besties. It doesn't need to make sense. But she takes Ruby, and, well... I'm here for it. The Doctor, though, returns to the party. Just as everything's revealed, we get all the normal people together. Well, aliens exist. That was actually the audience reaction to everything else in this episode. They go around intimidating the crowd, and then we get one guy. Of course, the man has to faint, like a woman would. We're inverting stereotypes, so it's not authentic and is completely unbelievable, because we don't want you to get immersed into this. We want you to know it doesn't make any sense, and say it's good anyway. It's not about entertainment, it's about breaking your spirit. So, they introduce the wedding. For some reason, it's a little owl, his bride. Nobody at this point wonders, hang on, how come all the aliens are in their alien form and Ruby isn't? Isn't that a little bit weird? Why have we all stopped cosplaying and she didn't? That's suspicious. Of course, that's only what an intelligent person would think. An intelligent person. Like maybe the Doctor? Well, any of the previous Doctors. Not this one. He doesn't have enough blood for both ends of his body, remember? And so now he realizes, hang on, while I was trying to bang this bloke next to me, I left this companion at the mercy of a load of murderous aliens, and I didn't care about her at all. No, I was too busy getting married and flirting. No, it's not the Doctor, is it? The Doctor wouldn't have sacrificed his companion to get his end away. Oh, look, she did the neck thing. It's definitely an alien. Now, at this point, Cutie Gatua has a little cry. Not in that scene, but it's coming. Much like the Doctor was as Ruby was getting murdered by aliens. And so, we get a corridor scene. And I have to say, this is probably the only time Cutie Gatua has even remotely approached the Doctor in one line. And no, that doesn't really work because of the way he presents it, but I think it's as close as he's got. Now, he does obviously start crying because it's Cutie Gatua. And admittedly, he is a great crier. If you don't have any butter with you, at least you could use that. He gets flashes back to her mother. Oh, you need to protect her? Yeah, don't worry. I will protect her so she can come back and you can keep claiming the benefits.
But I'm still her mum. I need to know she'll be okay.
I wouldn't want to commit fraud.
I will keep her safe.
Oh, I promise. Unless my eye gets distracted by somebody who's even vaguely male. Oh, I'm gonna have another cry again. You do realize it doesn't come across as sincere, even if you're in tears crying like a little girl, when you didn't care about her at all because you were too busy getting your end away. That is the main focus of the episode, the fact that you didn't care about Ruby, and now we're supposed to think that you do. But he gets the vicar as like, I'm not gonna marry two aliens. What a bigot. So they just shapeshift into him, or at least his clothes, and the Doctor's finally recovering. Oh, I'm so crying. It's like, how long do they live for?
They have a lifespan of 600 years.
Good.
This is the first time ever, and the closest I think he's ever got to being the Doctor, is the delivery of this line. They live for 600 years.
Good. It's a long time to suffer.
The fury of the Time Lords. Still not really believable because of everything else. I just can't take him seriously. But it's still the closest he's been to being the Doctor. It's a shame he didn't care about her before, really, isn't it, really? Instead, we're just going to cannibalize episodes that we've had in the past. We can't write anything new. This is fan fiction. We're not going to put that much effort in. We just wanted him to bang. And so, as they're getting married...
I object!
He does like to make an entrance. But that causes all the aliens to group up into a perfect triangle formation. That was lucky.
I want you standing exactly there.
Yeah, that was lucky, wasn't it? Because he puts down his transporter. And like, hang on, you need 3 of those. That's not much use.
Third of a trap. 1/3 of a brain, Doctor.
Love, can you stop stealing my lines, please? This episode has been difficult enough to get through. Can we not make it worse by you stealing my jokes? But he's like, oh, actually, I already put them there. Nobody knows how, why. It was never explained. They just magically appear in the right places. That was lucky. It's not as if we need to explain that. Don't worry. He just got his end away. That was the only thing that we're actually here for. And so he puts them all into a triangle. And he's like, this is revenge for Ruby.
Doctor, how long's the pixel?
She's like, oh, by the way, it's actually me, Doctor. He goes, you can't convince me. So she does the normal thing. I'm just going to tell you some bits about my past. It's fine. And she proves to him that she is him.
Grant's called Sherry and us knows when I was born and we met space babies and I'm...
That's true. Saying space babies. That is so farcical. Nobody else would ever think to lie about space babies. And he realizes, oh no, should I cry again? Is now the time for me to cry again?
How?
I cosplayed.
Oh yeah, I turned my head. Yeah, but why though? You could have gone to the doctor and been safe. Instead, we're going to get the bad music again. And by that I mean... yeah, she tapped on her earrings and she went, oh, can I have fight mode, please? And then we beamed into her face. Fight moves. Literally the worst fight I've ever seen in my life. It's like 2 women fighting.
Battle mode.
Battle mode. Please, can you teach me how to be trash at fighting? Honestly, it is the worst thing you've ever seen. I don't even know what that is. Oh my, this is... Remember, this is the person who at the start went, if you said that to us, we'd teach you how. Love, how. Ever want an explanation of why you're not intimidating and have never intimidated anyone in your entire life, just rewatch this scene, eh? So in the end, she just grabs a book and hits her in the face with it.
That's what she did to me!
I'm glad you showed up to explain it, love, but how did you know what they were talking about? It's like, oh no, there's the real one. Like, hang on, you can smell us. How did you not know it was me? Well, she smells like one of you.
For that cheap psychic jewelry!
Yeah, no, apparently psychic jewelry which beams moves into your head also emits a smell to everybody else around you? How did he design it so it had the ability to do that when it was only meant to give her dance moves? Oh, by the way, I'll just make you smell like an alien species just in case that's required for some reason. That was lucky! So then, obviously, he tries to activate Siri to turn it off because he's the doctor and that means he's got big brains.
Transform off! Transform off! Transform!
I'm glad you're panicking, mate, but have you considered at any point acting like the doctor?
Transform off!
Maybe just have a little cry, see if that fixes everything for you. Because it doesn't turn it off, surprisingly. And they're like, you won't send us there? You're too soft and feeble. You won't kill her. You won't sacrifice her. Emily, you have my full permission. Take over the doctor. So she charges him, and at that moment, in comes his little buddy. All that stuff, what we need to be into position. Just pick him up on your shoulder and put him in it. Guess we didn't have to be so picky about all this timing after all, eh? It's like, no, you need to press send. We've only got one opportunity. You need to do it now. If you don't press it, they'll all escape and kill her anyway.
I can't. He's too much of a coward.
I mean, remember, this is the doctor, the guy who sacrificed Rose because otherwise it would destroy everything. We've seen what the doctor would do, but this just isn't the doctor.
No, Doctor, it's fine.
No. Even Ruby is like, no, it's okay. I understand what needs to be done. This is what needs to be done. Just do it. Ruby is more of a man than this.
No! 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 No!
Please stop acting like you're in your other shows and act like you're in this one.
The children will escape, and Ruby dies anyway.
He's being sensible. At least finally, we've got some kind of man in the room who's acting like one.
Gate charged.
It's fine.
Oh, she started crying now. There's no way he's going to resist crying again, surely.
They'll kill us, then this house, then London.
Then the world, although we will revive the English Empire. So, you know, personally, I say he lets them go. Let's have some fun. And he's crying again because I'm so masculine. This is what the doctor is now. Somebody that just cries all the time. Really is pathetic. This is a bit of ugly crying as well, isn't it, cutie? There's a reason that men don't cry. Because they're blokes.
Can you lose your friend to save the world?
Because you should be able to. That's why you're called the Doctor. But no, this is the Doc. This is Bugs Bunny. I'm crying again. This is what the Doctor does now. He just breaks down and can't do anything. No, I can't sacrifice her. I can't do it. So I wipe the tears from your eyes.
I know.
Oh, that's why I love you, because you're weak, pathetic, stupid, and unimportant. Because when you leave this role, no one will remember you. No one will remember anything you've done. You will be completely and utterly forgotten. And so the only person that will remember you in this role is him. And so he plants one on him, and they really go for it. Ruby's like, like, oh, this is so marvelous. I'm about to die, and you've decided to start getting off with him. I'd be like, what's going on? Stop it. I'm about to get beamed into another dimension, and you've decided to get your end away in front of me. This isn't the last thing I want to see. I'm sorry, love, but I'm about to die. Can't we make this about me rather than your... If he's going to think of a plan to save me, he's going to need the blood in his brain. Thank you very much. So after about 20 seconds, they stop. It's probably about that, to be honest. And it turns out, haha, I stole your rod. And so he jumps onto the molecular bonding. And for some reason pushes her off like that would even work. I'm molecularly bonded to the floor. I can't move, but if you push me, how weak is that bond? If you can push me over away from it, then believe me, I'd be able to jump off it myself. Either way, he takes her place, throws him the flowers. It's like, oh, we're getting married. It's amazing. And pushes the button himself, saying, find me. He's got to wish he didn't say that to the doctor. Because they all fall into a parallel dimension where they can just stay alone forever. And you know, he's gonna get eaten by those owls when he's there. And he's like, oh, he's gone. Maybe I should cry again. You okay? Don't say, are you okay? You didn't care about her for the rest of the episode. You can't start caring about her now. And he puts the flowers where he dropped. Oh, it's so emotional. Our fan fiction is completed. Well, almost. Because he sends his ship to orbit the moon, so it'll be there forever in case he ever comes back. And she's like, are we going to go and save him?
There are as many dimensions as there are atoms in the universe.
Okay, but you're the doctor. You're the person that when your companion got kidnapped, you raised the universe, started wiping out the Daleks. You had everybody arrayed against you at one point because they were too scared of you. You literally went to hell to bring back somebody's boyfriend. But when yours goes to a parallel dimension, you're like, I can't be bothered. This is so fan fiction. Fan fiction from people that don't know Doctor Who.
Don't even know his real name.
Didn't stop you though, did it? Will you marry me? Yes. Although I don't know his name, do I? No. Let's move in together.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not even going to bother trying to save him. I'm not even going to look. I don't even need to start thinking about how we can try and track him down. No, I don't care. Do you want to go anywhere? Let's go on holiday.
So onwards. Fine. Next.
I'm not even joking.
Where shall we go? Anywhere.
Yeah, I'm like the cat from Red Dwarf. Whee! I'm not the doctor. I want to spin round in my new fashion sense. Whee!
You don't have to be like this.
I have to be like this because this is what I'm like.
Yes, he's like, I'm always off to the next one. Don't care about the people I got killed in the future. Don't care about anyone that got sent into a parallel dimension who asked me to save them. And I could, but I'm not going to. No, I'm like this. Whee! I'm the doctor. But then she's like, just shut up. Just shut up. We've got to finish our fan fiction. Oh, let's have a little hug. Oh, is he going to cry again? Go on, have a little cry. Go on. Oh, he resisted the tears this time for the first time, possibly ever.
It's good to have you back, Ruby.
You didn't care about having her back before, did you? No. You cared more about spraying up the other ones. And so he finds the ring that was proposed to him and pops it on his little finger and you're like, oh, actually, well, if that's what that means, you do have a lot of rings already. Are those all the times that you got proposed to by a guy that you've known for 15 minutes? If that? You really do get around, Doctor, don't you? And it'll always be a memory of the fan fiction that isn't Doctor Who. Okay, now you're just taking the piss. That's my goodbye. Piss off. And I don't know what that was, but it wasn't Doctor Who. Nobody acted like Doctor Who. That literally seemed like fan fiction written by a Loki writer who wanted to put herself in Bridgerton and found a platform to use it on. Oh, let's turn the Doctor into my bestie and turn him into my perfect fantasy. Because I'd really like a best friend like this that I could go shopping with. They ruined the Doctor's character and nobody seemed to care. Much like he didn't care about Ruby. He was too busy getting his end away to care about his companion. And then we're supposed to think, I'd said that I'd destroyed the universe for you, when at no point did he even consider her before. Now, I could understand a bloke getting distracted when he didn't have enough blood for both ends of his body. Fair enough. Shouldn't be for the Doctor, though. The smartest man ever knows that aliens are killing people around the place and doesn't care what Ruby's doing in that situation at all. I've never seen Bridgerton, but they keep mentioning it. Maybe if you like that show, you'd like this. I have a feeling that the writers certainly think so. But unfortunately, this isn't Bridgerton, nor does it have the same audience. And I don't think this episode is suitable for the audience that it's aimed at, families, but most of all, not suitable for the audience of Doctor Who. Because I don't know what this was, but it wasn't that. In fact, I think he had it accurate when he called him Doc. Because with the amount of tears this guy sheds in every single episode, except the one he wasn't in. What's up, Doc? Because there is something wrong with you. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.